Hello to everyone and the internet. It is currently Thursday, December 27th. I am Nathan of Washington and you are watching Culture Shock, the only show on the internet that knows how to separate an issue of culture from an issue of politics. And this is the news. Alright, so this one's a sad one today. Couple not charged for death of baby, but should be. That is Thomas Connett and Cassandra Lopresta. They're both 27 years old, a year younger than me. And basically their baby got trapped between the wall and the couch. So what happened? There was no one watching him? Complete negligence. He was just trapped between the wall and the couch and got squished and suffocated. And when they studied the baby's dead body, they showed all signs of abuse. While the couple slept, many of their children were locked in a room for the night, full of wood planks and other dangerous shit. How can anyone treat their kids that way? A baby suffocated, and the others were horribly abused. They were all abused. Honestly, these two should be doing life, while those kids go and get themselves a better home. Or better homes, as it were. They don't necessarily have to stay together. I mean, what's their memories of each other going to be? Shared suffering? Bottom line is, Thomas Connett and Cassandra Lopresta should be doing life for criminal child abuse and neglect, which resulted in negligent homicide of an infant. Absolutely sickening. They should be swinging from a tree by their necks, possibly. People like this make me sick. I'm done with talking about it. Moving on. A disturbing trend has appeared among the rich, plutocrats. And when I say disturbing, this isn't just the usual shit. I'm talking about blood transfusions from the young. Transfusing unnecessary transfusions they don't need, so they can live longer. Claiming that the young blood returns the color to their hair, clears up their skin. It's a very, shall we say, Elizabeth Bathory-esque idea. If you're not sure who that is, well, it would take me a while to go into it. But in short, basically, it's a woman who bathed in the blood of virgins to try and stay eternally young. It's a similar sort of logic, only this is like straight up pseudoscience. Take this with a grain of salt. I mean, the article I read was pretty well sourced, but at least one of those sources is the Free Thought Project. And sometimes they get a little nuts. I mean, like straight up Illuminati bullshit type nuts. So like I said, take this with a grain of salt. But I will always give honest representation, even to the craziest news. I mean, send your craziest shit. I will talk about it. I will look at the sources, I will look at the evidence, I will examine it, and I'll report it. But at the end of the day, I'll still call it crazy. I'll still call it fucking nuts. Because that's exactly what it is. But on a more serious note here, think about the possible ramifications if someone could start a black market for young blood. A bunch of teenagers and young adults just suddenly go missing, and then they find their body completely drained of all their blood. Like 14-year-olds with all their blood drained out of them. And they're dead body in the middle of the street with all their blood gone. That could be a real thing if this trend continues. A black market could easily be set up. And a lot of the rich plutocrats that are into this sort of thing are, of course, Silicon Valleyites. We're not talking about honest, hard-working rich people like Donald Trump. We're who worked for every penny. We're talking about guys who got rich through black market deals, blackmail, industry manipulation. You know, this dirty backyard type stuff. Wouldn't be surprised if George Soros himself was into this kind of thing. As if the dude wasn't dirty enough already. But this would exactly be up his alley. Real life vampires, I mean, wow. Crazy, crazy world. Takes all kinds, I guess. Moving on. 4 billion years. Bye-bye Earth. Andromeda Galaxy is on its way. You may not know this, but at the core of every galaxy there's a supermassive black hole that keeps everything in order and keeps it all together. Keeps it spiraling and twisting and so forth. Well, it turns out the black hole behind Andromeda has been pushing it toward the black hole behind Milky Way. 4 billion years from now, the two will be crashing into each other and mixing together and forming a new galaxy. I call it Milkdromeda. Or Andrilque. The Andrilque. Andrilque Way. Andrilque Way. Andilky Way. Andilky Way. Makes it sound hilarious. But it's a very real reality. Of course, 4 billion years in the future, none of us are going to be alive to see it, but it's still nonetheless true. We've actually seen through Hubble and other telescopic devices, we've seen galaxies smash into each other and combine before. The gases mix together and form a new super galaxy. It's all part of a narrative we see in nature and in the universe itself. The universe literally eats itself all the time. All the time, it literally eats itself. Predators eat other, animals eat other animals. Plants sometimes eat other plants. Some plants eat animals. It's the same basic premise. It's just the universe repeating certain themes. But we will not be alive to see it. It's just a fun little thing that I saw on the news. I already knew about it, but I wanted to mention it. I didn't realize that it was the black holes that were essentially attracting each other. A Canadian imam says Merry Christmas worse than murder or adultery. Really? Telling someone that they wish they have a good time on a holiday is worse than murder or adultery. Oh, right, because it's a Christian holiday. Well, actually, no, it's not, but wouldn't matter to them. An imam is a Muslim preacher. And on that note, a Canadian imam. Canada is a Western nation. What the hell is a Middle Eastern religion doing having a presence there? Thinking about it makes me feel ill. Because the Middle East is a very violent, unpleasant place. You take people out of the Middle East and adjust them to the West, they become better people. But when they're in the Middle East, I don't know, there seems to be something about that region that seems to drive people nuts. And they act like monsters. And you can take the man out of the Middle East, but you can't take the Middle East out of the man, it would seem. But yeah, Merry Christmas worse than murder or adultery? What kind of hell statement is that, just because you don't like Christians? So what? I mean, just because you don't like Christians or Christian holidays, that does not mean that wishing someone that they have a good time on a holiday is worse than murder or adultery. That's... what the hell? That is an absolutely incredulous statement. I respect his right of free speech, however. He's free to say whatever he wants, whether I agree with it or not. And if he wasn't allowed to say it, then we wouldn't know how crazy he was. And now we do. We see his insanity. At large, heavy-set killer of Ranil Singh, a California cop. Ranil Singh, a California cop, originally from... I think they said he was from one of those more tropical countries. He was a cop in California, and a large, heavy-set guy with a chain killed the dude, and then now he's currently at large. I mean, heavy-set is just a polite way of saying fat. So finding him in a crowd of fat Americans is going to be hard. And so many of us are kind of fat already. Finding the guy is not going to be that easy, unless they have an accurate description. But they always go crazy over cop killers. The cops always make it a matter of honor to chase the guy down and kill him. Sometimes they don't even bother with due process. A guy could be innocent, but if he's accused of cop killing, he's dead meat. That kind of thinking should be heavily regulated and illegalized for the police. You cannot regulate a private citizen, but you can regulate a cop, because cops are government employees. Indonesian tsunami upsets volcano Anak Krakatoa. Indonesia is currently advising all flights to steer clear. Another crazy weather story. This vaguely reminds me of the famous eruption in Japan. A volcano in one of the Japanese islands went off in 2011. The entire Asian circuit of flights was completely shut down. This reminds me very much of that. This could be a very similar situation. And I agree, the flights should steer clear, because Krakatoa has erupted a few times before, and it's always been very devastating. At least one time I know for sure was in like 1978. Bottom line is, this could be part of an emerging pattern. I've seen a lot of crazy articles about island weather lately. That has me wondering if the due date for global warming and the inevitable ice age might not be a little closer than we might be thinking. Anyway, just stay clear of Indonesia for a little while, unless you're a native. Anyway, that's all for Culture Shock today, folks. I'm out.